For strategy and business model section of Informed Eyes Weekly Business Insights for the week 410, July 18 to 24, 2025, we curated and summarized articles from three business magazines. The first article from McKinsey and Company shares a guide for new chief risk officers on how to accelerate impact from day one. The second article from MIT Sloan Management Review warns us stop deploying artificial intelligence, start designing intelligence. The third and the final article from Harvard Business Review magazine explains hybrid still isn't working and how to go for human resource challenges. First from McKinsey and Company.
Accelerating Impact from Day One, a guide for new CROs. Written by Christina Catena et al., published by McKinsey and Company on July 2, 2025. Stepping into the role of Chief Risk Officer, CRO, comes with a lot of questions. Where to start, what to prioritize, and how to make an impact. The way new CROs approach these questions in their earliest months shapes their ability to achieve long-term success. To understand the mindsets, skills, and practices that work best for new CROs, McKinsey conducted in-depth interviews with more than 30 current and former CROs of major financial institutions. Each of them spent at least 5 years in the role. In the most recent article in this series, the authors examine how top CROs set their objectives, mindsets, and operating models. Their research led to the identification of three CRO archetypes: the architect, the protector, and the business accelerator, each with its own motivations and ways of working. Underlying these archetypes are 6 habits that take root early in the CRO's tenure and shape their success in the role. To sum up, be explicit about a risk and resilience North Star. Invest in, empower, and create the next generation of leaders. Engage deeply with C-suite leaders and the board. Treat supervisors as partners. Focus on what only the CRO can do, and monitor CRO personal effectiveness. In this article, the third in the series, the author focused on the challenges and opportunities that CROs face in adopting the 6 habits in their critical first few months in the role, and the strategies that drive early success and the pitfalls that constrain progress. The authors show how leading CROs strike a balance between taking stock and taking action to build resilient risk organizations. Habit 1. Ensure clarity on the risk function's North Star, strategy, and culture. The CRO needs to adjust the North Star, adapt the risk strategy to enable goals, and articulate risk culture from to. Habit 2. Optimize the risk organization. CROs need to optimize organizational structure, move fast on team changes, adjust the operating model. Habit 3. Establish relationships with the board and executive team. CRO needs to strengthen board relationships and create common agendas, identify go-to contacts across topics, and find the right cadence for reporting. Habit 4. Establish relationships with supervisors. CRO needs to establish a proactive and transparent supervisory engagement approach, reprioritize ongoing efforts, and incorporate its supervisory input. Habit 5. Be intentional about what only the CRO can do. CRO needs to plan your legacy, set top priorities, redefine working rhythms for efficiency. Habit 6. Monitor personal effectiveness and reevaluate the personal operating model for long-term success. CRO needs to shape your remit, make time for personal priorities, and review your personal board. 2 key takeaways from the article. 1. Stepping into the role of Chief Risk Officer (CRO) comes with a lot of questions. Where to start, what to prioritize, and how to make an impact. The way new CROs approach these questions in their earliest months shapes their ability to achieve long-term success. 3. McKinsey's research led to the identification of 3 CRO archetypes: the architect, the protector, and the business accelerator, each with its own motivations and ways of working. Underlying these archetypes are 6 habits that take root early in the CRO's tenure and shape their success in the role. These are: A. Be explicit about a risk and resilience North Star. B. Invest in, empower, and create the next generation of leaders. C. Engage deeply with C-suite leaders and the board. D. Treat supervisors as partners. E. Focus on what only the CRO can do. And F. Monitor CRO personal effectiveness.
Stop deploying artificial intelligence, start designing intelligence. Written by Michael Secharge and David Curran, published by MIT Sloan Management Review on July 17, 2025. Stephen Wolfram is a physicist turned entrepreneur whose pioneering work in cellular automata, computational irreducibility, and symbolic knowledge systems fundamentally reshaped our understanding of complexity. With Wolfram, the authors explored the idea that artificial intelligence leadership must shift from better adopting and integrating artificial intelligence tools to designing intelligence environments, organizational architectures in which humans and artificial agents proactively interact to create strategic value. Three insights from his philosophical approach to computational emerge as fundamental to this design challenge, offering a fresh perspective on why traditional approaches to artificial intelligence adoption fail and what must replace them. A designed intelligence environment is an enterprise system where humans and machines not only make decisions but also learn, reason, adapt, and improve how knowledge is generated and shaped. These environments are not knowledge graphs. Maps are not territories. A genuine intelligent environment explicitly connects epistemology with execution. Wolfram's principle of computational irreducibility revealed that performance of complex systems cannot be predicted without running them. You can't just jump ahead and know what a system will do, you have to run it, he explained. This makes traditional strategic planning mathematically impossible in artificial intelligence rich environments, a constraint with profound implication for how leaders must approach intelligence design. Second, his decade-long project of taking the knowledge of the world and making it computable demonstrate that organizational reasoning itself can become programmable with business concept defined precisely enough for both humans and machine computation. Third, his concept of rulal space shows that different intelligent agents operate under fundamentally different rule set, requiring what he calls translation mechanism rather than forced alignment. As Wolfram put it, these are not just different perspectives on reality, they represent different computational processes generating entirely different ontologies. Artificial intelligence investments are exploding, but enterprise returns remain mediocre. The core issue: leadership deploys intelligence as if it were automation, but intelligence, human or machine, can't simply be inserted into workflows. It must be architected into environments. Most organizational designs manage effort and enforce alignment. They do not orchestrate reasoning, learning, or adaptive value creation. This is their artificial intelligence strategic blind spot. Yet this is precisely where Wolfram computational philosophy offers essential and actionable clarity. Unlocking artificial intelligence value requires leaders to ask not what tools can do, but what architecture and infrastructures let intelligence emerge, evolve, and flourish. Organizations that treat intelligence as a designable infrastructure, not as an emergent property of tools, are likely to obtain faster, higher quality decisions, reduce systemic risk, and enhanced adaptive capacity. Designing an intelligence environment requires leaders to think like system architects rather than process managers. The design process with mapping the organization's current intelligence topology, identifying where knowledge is created, how reasoning flows between human and artificial intelligence agents, and where meaning breaks down or gets lost in translation. Leaders must then make explicit design choices about three fundamental elements: the semantic infrastructure, how key concepts will be formally defined and made computable, the reasoning protocols, how different types of intelligence will interact and influence each other, and the learning architecture, how insights will be captured, validated, and propagated throughout the system. Unlike traditional organizational design that focuses on roles and reporting structures, intelligence environment design focuses on information flows, decision pathways, and knowledge evaluation patterns, intelligent architecture, and infrastructure. It requires new design tools, semantic modeling, reasoning pathways mapping, and computational experimentation frameworks that executives have yet to adopt. Architecting intelligence is a fundamentally different task from procuring and adopting it. A brilliant architecture without infrastructure is impossible to implement. Infrastructure without architecture is a costly, chaotic zoo of tools. Leaders must co-own both. That's how intelligent systems become trusted, scalable, and transformational. Wolfram's lessons go beyond optimizing artificial intelligence investment. They encourage leaders to build intelligent architectures that help enterprises reason better, learn faster, and proactively adapt faster than competitors. Three key takeaways from the article. 1. Stephen Wolfram is a physicist turned entrepreneur whose pioneering work in cellular automata, computational irreducibility, and symbolic knowledge system fundamentally reshaped our understanding of complexity. 2. With Wolfram, the authors explored the idea that artificial intelligence leadership must shift from better adopting and integrating artificial intelligence tools to designing intelligence environments, organizational architectures in which humans and artificial intelligence agents proactively interact to create strategic value. Three, three insights from his philosophical approach to computation emerge as fundamental to this design challenge, offering a fresh perspective on why traditional approaches to artificial intelligence adoption fail and what must replace them. First, the performance of complex systems cannot be predicted without running them. This makes traditional strategic planning mathematically impossible in AI rich environments. Second, his decade long project of taking the knowledge of the world and making it computable demonstrates that organizational reasoning itself can become programmable with business concepts defined precisely enough for both human and machine computation. Third, his concept of Rulial space shows that different intelligent agents operate under fundamentally different rule sets, requiring what he calls translation mechanism rather than force alignment. Wolfram's lessons go beyond optimizing artificial intelligence investment. They encourage leaders to build intelligence architectures that help enterprises reason better, learn faster, and proactively adapt faster than competitors.
Hybrid Still Isn't Working, written by Peter Capelli and Rania Neme, published by Harvard Business Review magazine in its July to August 2025 issue. Hybrid work, where employees spend some time in the office and some time working remotely, sounds like a good way to balance employees' interest in spending more time at home with employers' interest in fostering collaboration and connection and avoiding the problems we have described. But it is not working. One reason is that employers, having cut office space in reaction to the pandemic and to save on real estate costs, often resort to hoteling or hot desking. The limited amount of office space also makes it impossible to hold anchor days when everyone is in the office at the same time to build community. For companies that are stuck for the time being with a remote or hybrid model, either because they can't or don't want to expand their office space, or because they don't want to alienate employees who like working from home, a few actionable steps can help. 1. Assess the situation. The first step is figuring out if you have problems. IT departments can help by analyzing data from corporate calendar software. 2. Create and enforce rules. For instance, for starters, limit attendees to those involved in the issues or decisions at hand. Another could be your camera must be on or don't attend the meeting. Rules must also be put in place to prevent the focus on individual KPIs from crowding out cooperation and collaboration. 3. Revamp performance appraisals. Managers should tell employees that their KPIs include responding in a timely manner to requests for help and mentoring or assisting new hires. 4. Revise career planning and advancement. Rely on an array of peer assessments, such as 360-degree feedback, that focus on behavior and interpersonal skills. 5. Establish in-office anchor days and make attendance mandatory. 6. Build social relationships. Partner new hires with experienced mentors to show them the ropes. Create a list of important people with whom new hires should meet and send introductions to make sure that those meetings happen. Map out the groups that have critical interactions with one another and, as a start, bring them together for a series of working lunches, 2 groups at a time. Plan the seating to mix up team members. Volunteering in the community can be especially powerful as employees work together on a common and meaningful goal. 7. Support employees' well-being and mental health. Managers should be required to have routine employee check-ins, and if these have to be done remotely, supervisors need training and access to resources on how to better assess employees' well-being in a virtual context. Managers can also promote their reports' well-being by establishing and enforcing boundaries between work and personal lives, especially about the hours for scheduling meetings. 8. And make connecting and communicating a management priority. 2 key takeaways from the article. 1. Hybrid work sounds like a good way to balance employees' interest in spending more time at home with employers' interest in fostering collaboration and connection, but it is not working. 2. For companies that are stuck for the time being with a remote or hybrid model, a few actionable steps can help. A. Assess the situation. The first step is figuring out if you have problems. IT departments can help by analyzing data from corporate calendar software. B. Create and enforce rules. For instance, camera must be on or don't attend the meeting. C. Revamp performance appraisals, which should include KPIs such as responding in a timely manner to requests for help and mentoring or assisting new hires. D. Revise career planning and advancement by relying on an array of peer assessments. E. Establish in-office anchor days and make attendance mandatory. F. Build social relationships by, for example, volunteering in the community together. G. Support employees' well-being and mental health. And H. Make connecting and communicating a management priority.